And we are back live. Game 2 draft. Pookie Bears, Ole Miss. Ole Miss, the Shogo Show was the victor for the Ole Miss squad here. They're up 1-0 now on the red side. And just to remind everybody, if you forgot after the game, we are in Fearless. So all those champions on your screen there are from last game and cannot be selected by their respective sides. The other side can select them. So for one example, if your Uncle Sam wanted to play in a Zero game here, he can't play. They are also swapped, and we'll get that figured out in just a second. But
So it's
Quacks,
Victor.
yes.
Yes.
So Victor's taken away from him. But Quacks, we're speeding through these draft picks, and I already love this great decision here. Interesting decision actually from Ole Miss. They banned Karma, or no, I keep getting thrown off that it's swapped. I love the Karma ban because they can't play it. So why not just ban it away?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Pookie Bears, something tells me, Slayer, that they don't want Shogo playing any kind of threatening 80 carries here
Oh
in
my
this
god.
game. Something tells me that. I don't know what though. I can't quite put my finger on it.
The 3 champ ban right off bat. Yeah, and then they technically just steal away an AD carry. I mean, you could send Ash support or AD, but it's still taking one away here. Yeah, and if I'm Ole Miss, you definitely want to pick AD early here. They hover the Azir with just like we talked about. They're able to play. Vanx is not able to play, but they're going to go with the Varus here, which is always an intriguing pick here. Flexibility with that champion, not in the actually in the lane you could play it if we're being realistic, Quacks, but also how you want to build it as well. I still think on hit versus that poke build, both are viable in certain scenarios.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of different options when you lock in that Varus, and especially when you're going against a champion like Ashe, who is known for insane amounts of poke. It would be understandable if Ole Miss want to sort of match that power going for the Varus. And now the Azir, so a lot of poke power coming in through this red side, just trying to match what Pookie Bears seem to be drafting for themselves. But now it is Pookie Bears time for R2 and R3, and we'll have to see what they're waiting to go for. And it looks like the poke battle
Oh.
might continue as, yeah, not Varus, Ezreal locked in here.
Yeah, Quacks, I'm going to pull my Ezreal fanboy card, or Ezreal aficionado card here. Not a fan of Ezreal Ashe. I mean, I can understand the lane. You have range, you have poke. But outside of that, it is a very intriguing combo to throw together. You get the Orianna as well. So you bring in some safety, a control mage in the mid lane. Shows me Pookie Bears want to play for pressure in the bottom lane after what they had to go through last game. But I am, once again, kind of worried about this Pookie Bears comp going forward.
Yep, absolutely. And Ole Miss looks like they're going to take away that Jarvan here. And now the question becomes, Pookie Bears, Jarvan taken away by Ole Miss, Xin Zhao banned. There are not a lot of viable ball carriers for this Orianna to reliably get a big shockwave on. And I have to imagine that's what Pookie Bears were thinking about drafting here in the jungle. But with the 2 primary ones taken away, it'll be really interesting to see what they decide to pick up. But Ole Miss can just keep banning away potential candidates, Vi taken away as well.
Yeah, Vi's super strong. I wouldn't hate a Nocturne ban. I know it can get a little janky with the interaction, but you can kind of cheese. The ball can go a bit out of range if you time the casting of the Shockwave. It can go a bit outside of an Orianna's range, so I still think that's a viable ban. You'll have Sejuani, wouldn't hate that ban as well. Yeah, just target Zaijan so you cut off this ball delivery system. And even though we swap sides, I'm just still a fan of the way Ole Miss is drafting and how they're reacting. It's not just the drafting, Wax. It's how they
Yep.
react to the Pookie Bears comp. And yeah, thank you for the little bit of credit there as the Nocturne ban does come through.
You got it. Yep. Nocturne banned away. So 3 big junglers taken away from the Pookie Bears, and the other one picked by Ole Miss. So that does not leave a lot of room for this blue side to pair something with this Orianna. Now the question becomes, honestly, Pookie Bears, they might be better just pivoting toward this poke, instead playing for more of a backline-centric comp. Maybe just putting Royal on tank duty this game. Something like a Malphite, an Ornn could work as well. But Ole Miss going to lock in the Bard of all champions.
One of my favorite champions to watch ever. I mean, if you get a good Bard player, I will. You can come back to this, circle back, rewind if we're because you could watch in the game. Everyone watching at home. This is a recording. There's gonna be a moment where I think Rhino's inting, And then it's just going to work out because he's playing Bard. That's just the champion Bard is. He's just so unique and so fun here. But the bigger story, like you mentioned, jungler champ pool pinched for Zaijian, so he's going to go with the Lee Sin. Can work as a ball delivery system, does work as an early game threat in the jungle. So you're kind of patching up some holes with band-aids, but they are leaky.
Yeah, this is really just kind of a lackluster pick, in my opinion, coming from the Pookie Bears, but this might be interesting. Rengar is hovered by them, and this would be a Rengar top, and I'd like to see that.
My God. That would be... This is getting wild for Pookie Bears. I mean, all right, so you want to go for aggression on dive ability. You have somebody that can follow up with the Lee Sin trying to dive back. Technically, he's also another, ball delivery system if you want it for Vamps. Yeah, but I once again, Quacks, I don't know if I just sound like an Ole Miss supporter right now, but this is just an absolutely beautiful red side draft. I mean, you get straight on this Rumble, can match up decently well into the Rengar to try and space him in the lane, and then everybody remembers from Season 13, the Cataclysm Equalizer combo can be just game-breaking if done correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Ole Miss's comp, it goes without saying, is much more reliable when it comes to 5v5 fights. So Pookie Bears are going to have to they're going to have to be a little bit creative for how they want to accumulate leads in the early game, because I think that this topside power really is where their strong suit is going to lie. They have a lot of early skirmish potential. Their 2v2 potential with Lee Sin and Rengar is, in my opinion, able to match that of Rumble and Jarvan if they play it right. So playing around that top side, I think, is the objective. And I think that this bot lane, a much better job at making sure that they can play a safer comp in the bot lane. This Pookie Bears bot lane is no longer crying. I think they'll have a much easier time in Game 2 than they did in Game 1.
Certainly have to see. It still is Shogo down there, and he is still the superstar. Do want to shout out our recording producer, Mr. Adam here, because I did give you some insight, especially to Rhino. He's played a couple of Bard games, but he hasn't played one since Proving Grounds. Yeah, that's a phrase not a lot of people in this scene have heard in a while. 2021. So it's been a while since Rhino's been on the Bard, pulling it out for this big-time GSL game. And also, if you've been following Pookie Bears, you know that Royal has played a Rengar top game, as we do get live in a game, and everybody is trying their best to trace the outline of Summoner's Rift right now.
Yup, and curiously enough, as I don't think either of these teams are going to interact with each other in the first minute and a half of this game, Royal going full on aggression, the Ignite with the Rengar, and curiously enough, the Lethal Tempo. Usually you would see something like a Conqueror, or maybe a Fleet Footwork, maybe even a Grasp of the Undying would be the keystone that this pick would take, but this keystone is really interesting. I'm really curious to see what Royal is planning to do. Obviously, he's going to scrap a lot, but extended trades against Rumble are pretty difficult, especially on a burst champion like Rengar.
Great point as always, Quacks. Is I always have the discussion when you get Varus blocked in here. Shogo, Hail of Blades pick here, heal, flash, bottom lane. Hail of Blades can go one of two ways if you're going on hit or poke. The longsword start, though, really reinforces that I think he's going to be rushing lethality. I like it as well into the Pookie Bears comp. They have no pure take whatsoever, so if you can land those empowered piercing arrows, they are going to chunk whoever you want on this Pookie Bear squad. As we already get level 1 shenanigans coming out here. Good trade, though, from Kimmler. Ezreal always has that sneaky level 1 ability. The fact he can just throw autos and Qs out. And with that Ashe, Rhino getting a bit of medicine that he doled out from game number 1.
Yup, and James trying to fire just as much as his ADC. They're laying down the groundwork of pressure for this lane, and Rhino and Shogo already taken to a decently low amount of health here. And you can see Zaijian is pathing down toward that bot side as this Lee Sin, so could maybe look for something of a dive if the health bars allow it, and if the minion waves allow it as well. But we'll have to wait and see sort of how that works. But meanwhile, Icelandic actually not going to go for a top lane gank here. He's just going to reset and try to cover for his bot lane. I really like this sort of restraint on this Jarvan pick.
And we talked about it, Old Miss's recipe to success a lot of the time. This, in recent memory as well, has been just playing for Shogo, and obviously the most recent memory would be earlier in this GSL with his Caitlyn game here. Had a ward on his blue buff. It did go down here, and we do see Zaijan is hopping onto it. He might be able to steal this away. I don't think Icelandic will finish his wolves in time to really spot this out.
Yeah, but he might throw a flag down, get the vision. Yeah, you can see he knows it's gone.
Oh, but it goes away just in time. Zaijan will pick that one up, steals the blue buff away, and he will have a camp lead because he already took his blue buff. Has the push in bottom lane as well, so it's going to be pretty hard for Icelandic to really answer.
Yeah, I mean, Icelandic just has to clear this Gromp and then probably fall back to going for the Crab, but there isn't a lot of priority for this Jarvan to work with, so going into the jungle of Zaijiang is going to be difficult for this Jarvan. Luckily, he does have a Bard, and they don't call him the Wandering Caretaker for nothing, and the way of the Bard is a little bit of a mysterious one for those who are not familiar with it. So basically, it's part of the process with this champion, right? You basically, everything is bad until it's good and magically works out. That's just how the champion works.
Well, it might be getting a little bit bad in the bot lane here as Shogo did have spent heal. Kimmler, though, does get ignited, has to flash away. The piercing arrow forces Kimmler's flash out as well. Both Summers down, and they might get James. One more auto will find it. Shogo strikes again for first blood, but we're not done. Hold this in the mid lane, trying to jump onto Vamps. Your Uncle Sam, though, out of mana. One resonating strike. Zaijan finds a trade, and we kick off the killing spree in game number 2.
Yup, and now Shogo and Rhino, they get the kill onto James and will be able to push this wave in, but Icelandic Hero's not done yet.
He doesn't get the knock up on the flag and drag though. Vamps, one more auto, the W shield, bot lane pandemonium, it's trades once more. This time it's Rhino on the board with a bot lane kill, but Vamps gets one back onto his Orianna.
And the champs might be different, but the teams are still subscribing to the playstyle of Fight Club. 5 minutes into the game, 4 kills on the board. Slayer, we are in for more action here in this series.
It just feels so bad, Quacks, for Pookie Bear here, because their bottom lane, you pick this Poke Ezreal Ashe combination to be overbearing in your lane and to dish back what you got in game number 1. But you give Shogo and Rhino a kill, gold influx, and now this lane just becomes so much more rough. Kind of like your Uncle Sam's lane might be coming as well, with Vamps getting a kill. Gets slowed again. Those Orianna autos do hurt with the AP scaling. Takes a turret shot. Uncle Sam flashes and gets the outplay. Rhino's heal saves him, and it's another great turn from Ole Miss.
That was certainly a play there from Vamps. Expends the does not have TP and does not have flash, and really good hold there from your Uncle Sam to flash right when Vamps goes into the turret to dodge that last skill shot. But yeah, this Orianna going for a kill and going a little too close to the sun, or in this case the turret, as possible. So yeah, the game will continue, and Ole Miss with a slight lead over Pookie Bears here 6 minutes into the game.
Now with a lot of that bot lane pressure relieved, I mean, Rhino can just do what Bard's dreams are, which, you know, chase those chimes and affect every lane possible. And that's what the great Bard players do. We talked about, it's been a while, but Rhino very familiar with this champion, willing to pull it out as a pocket pick, and so far, through 6.5 minutes, Quacks, he's shown exactly why. Oh boy.
He popped the Ignite.
Yeah, but he also whiffs the Equalizer. Royal pops his ultimate, but I think he's using it defensively, not willing to jump back in. Good root comes across, Chains of Corruption. James is just dead. Shogo nearly does it all on his own, and he's back to winning ways just like game number 1.
Yup, another kill coming in for Shogo, and honestly, this is where the lack of cleanse is really starting to hurt Kimmler more than help him. Sure, you have the heal, but not being able to cleanse the Varus ultimate, or the Bard Q, or the various amounts of CC that this bot lane has is really hurting this Ezreal pick, and it's showing in the laning phase so far, as Pookie Bear is continuing to fall behind in this bot lane.
It's the same recipe that's scoring them in the last game, and it's also what led Icelandic to pick up this Drake for free. And Rhino, here's one of those Bard moments. He fears no mortal man, just pushes Zaijan off anywhere near the Drake pit, all on his own. Is top lane. Stray and Royal get really into it. Flash away from Royal. Yeah, that overheat might have cost Stray a kill there. Yeah,
the overheat, the heat mismanagement from Stray. But Royal did have flash, and he did flash away, so who's to say that kill would have gone through? As, yep, this Rengar just going to crash the wave and take a reset. Close call in the top lane.
Vamps throws out the shockwave. Maybe just a stat check there. Icelandic was there, so nothing big to come from that. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's fine, I feel like, for Stray. If he doesn't give up kills, you pick this Rengar top to be overbearing, kind of like the bot lane for Pookie Bears, and both of them have fallen flat, and it's, I feel like, just going to scorn them as this game goes on, Quacks.
Yeah, absolutely. As the game has gotten a little quieter in the past couple of minutes, no big kills going over to either team, but as I say that...
Caster Curse strikes on Vamps, but your Uncle Sam with the beautiful Shreem and Shuffle and Old Miss are just rolling.
Resets. Zaijiang, unlucky. Not able to take the red away.
Yeah, this is just getting rough, Quacks. I mean, the two lanes where you expected at least to go even and potentially have some prio in the early game have fallen flat on the Pookie Bears' face, and I feel like we're just cruising once again towards that territory of Old Miss. They really have to slip up to lose control of this game, especially with how well they've drafted to fight later in the game. But they're still skirmishing. This time, it's Royal the target, trying to utilize those brushes, but gets locked in the Cataclysm, the equalizer over top. There's the combo, has to jump on him, the minions to get out, Ignite over top. Barnold does not grab him, but the flamethrower from Stray will get him. Zaijiang can't find any avenue to save his top laner. Another kill over to Ole Miss.
Yeah, good attempt there by Royal to try and get out of that 1v2, but ultimately will be picked up. And this really is, I feel, the nail in the coffin for Pookie Bears if they don't get a comeback here as woo! Shogo lands the arrow.
I mean, it's just a masterclass from this guy. He is dead set on making it into that promotion tournament. He's going to will Old Miss there on his own if he has to. And he picks up a solo bolo, just signifying that.
Yeah, absolutely. But Pookie Bears felt like we said it in the draft, Slayer. A lot of their top side relied on them being ahead in the early game, and so far, it doesn't even feel like Zaijiang, who has a kill under his belt, is super far ahead. As Stray might be living up to his name here. He's completely caught out. Yeah,
he has no equalizer as well, no friends, so that's a freebie given back over. And Royal will happily take that one back, so that's what kind of scored Old Miss, kept the game a bit longer. Nice landing, looking for more, gets Zaijiang to flash over the wall, doesn't have the Cataclysm up, keep that in mind as this fight goes on. Royal utilizing that brush, gets a shockwave, they do have a pick, but a good Emperor's Divide keeps your Uncle Sam safe. Shogo shows up, but now he's in the front line, shutdowns galore coming across, good flash away, back towards his Rhino, his support, and he's starting to free fire. Piercing arrow looking to come through, misses just onto Royal. James is dishing out the slows. Royal trying to utilize that brush on the Rengar, has all the stacks of his passive, looking to try and lock somebody down. Shogo and Rhino are just on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift right now, buying time. Teleport comes in, Stray is here as well. Ole Miss looking for the turn. Royal has nowhere to go, he's rooted, and he will be cast away along with James. Ole Miss bide their time and pick up a double.
Pookie Bears overstaying their welcome, and they pay the price for it. Great TP coming out from your Uncle Sam to join the fight, break the sort of war of attrition that 2v2 standoff had in that area. And now Ole Miss up kills, up gold, and they are looking strong here in game 2.
That's once again Shogo with an absurd gold lead. It was flashed up there for a bit, but it is well over nearly 3,000 right now. It is exactly nearly 3,000, which is just ludicrous for not even 12 minutes into the game here. 6-0-1 on the Varus. We might have a pick at the top side. Crystal Arrow does land on top of this Rumble's head, goes for the equalizer, trying to buy a bit of space, and that's enough to assuage James. Without any brush, Royal doesn't really have a gap closer in store. But do Ole Miss punish this?
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss, they're surrounding this turret. They could look for a dive, but it looks like they're respecting the health bars and the potential damage of this Rengar, as he still is an assassin. He still does damage despite the scoreline.
Oh, now
Sam.
Yeah, Zaijiang get into it. Emperor's Divide, there's the kick coming out. The Resonate Strike, and Zaijiang certainly has enough damage to punish your Uncle Sam. And topside, Royal, hello, claps back as well. Down goes Stray. And the Pookie Bears, they're still fighting for it. But where does the punish come through for Ole Miss here? Rhino doing Bard things. Ignite onto Zijon, baits him in with the Resonating Strike, able to pull him into Icelandic's Waiting Arms, but Zijon turns it. Too much damage in the tank for that Lee Sin, and Ole Miss are scored once more.
Zijon. I can't look for more, but what a play from the Lee Sin there. Pookie Bears backs against the wall, and they managed to find some kills of their own and on the members that we were saying needed to be ahead for this Pookie Bear squad to succeed here in this all-important game 2. They come up big just like they did in game 1, and now the question becomes, can they hold on to it?
Oh, Zijon's looking for more. He's got that Eclipse, and he once again kills your Uncle Sam. Doesn't even let him back towards the turret. Zijon is trying to will Pookie Bears back into this game and this series.
Yep, they managed to get a bot lane turret as well, but we got more scrapping in the top lane, Slayer.
Oh, Royal loves those brushes, just doing all he can to try and get the resets, but Stray's spacing really well. Both players ignited, but the powered Q from Royal gets him another solo kill. Pookie Bears are coming back alive.
Pookie Bears from the jaws of defeat and despair here in this game to come back, and they, like you said, Slayer, they will them back into a decent spot. But now Ole Miss, they know that the players of Pookie Bears are on a reset. That is just a 3-second dragon, so scaling is still in favor. Late game is still in favor of this Ole Miss squad.
Cloud Drake, though, to come, which certainly is disappointing for Ole Miss. I mean, with what was available, Hextech and Ocean Soul were two of the options, and they get Cloud. So, not the most fun thing, but a good thing to at least take away is there's a Crystal Arrow. Is that another pick? Icelandic falls. Temper Fate is too late, and Ole Miss keep over-calculating.
That was really unlucky there from Icelandic here. He flag and dragged into the arrow, which got him killed. But this Jarvan pick, 0, 4, and 5, has not seen a ton of uses. Was really good in those early to mid-game fights when that Cataclysm could be paired up with that Equalizer, but now he's down, and there's a fight onto the Herald without the jungler.
Wax, they just want to scrap as much as possible. They're not getting those points in. Yeah, it's Fight Club. I mean, we are once again, what, way ahead of kills per minute. This is 23 kills at 15 minutes. Near decently close to 2 kills a minute. 1.5, I've been informed by our mathematician, Adam. So, yeah, that's a bloody game. And so far in the last 5 minutes, it's really benefited Pookie Bears.
And I don't think it's going to stop here. I certainly think Pookie Bears, they have ultimates available. The Shockwave is there. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is coming back up. So if they want to look for a fight, you know, sort of on this Rift Herald, they can certainly do so. But we'll just have to wait and see as the sort of a mid-lane scrap, a poke battle is ensuing.
And once again, you know, I hate that it might come off to sound like a biased caster, but it's a second game where I feel like it's kill Shogo or bust. He's still 7-0-1. Yeah. 2 items on this Varus, and you are playing a squishy comp. Yeah, I mean, and look at the damage he just did to Kimmler. So, Quacks, you know, it was maybe not the start of the game, it was all about killing Shogo, but now it kind of is. It's Ole Miss playing through him once more.
Yeah, absolutely. They are 100% relying on this Varus, but one very notable weakness about Varus that you have to keep in mind, and this is for both teams, is that he is an immobile champion. If you manage to pick him off, if you manage to catch him out, even with something like an Enchanted Crystal Arrow from James, then that character is as good as dead. There's nothing he can do in the wake of CC and getting picked off, so that's certainly what Pookie Bears need to look for, getting vision down, knowing where this Varus is, and being able to punish him for missteps.
Certainly something Zijon has on his mind here. He has a lot of damage as well to try and just blow up this Varus. Rengar as well. Royal has, you know, cruising towards a 2-item power spike. Slightly stunted by the fact that he wants to itemize for Stray, but does have enough damage in the tank as well. And you can see it. He's back to his brush antics once more. Icelandic is here first. Royal does go for that ultimate, trying to just get it out of vision range, but the Equalizer was so well positioned. Stray gets his revenge.
Burn, baby, burn, as Royal goes down and opens up the top lane for Ole Miss to take control of. They can set down wards and vision and just try and get a feel for where the Pookie Bears squad is around that area. And also just gold. going into the side of Ole Miss. Gold has been a valuable commodity for these past few minutes ever since Pookie Bears started to mount a comeback and close that gold lead gap that was so wide in the early game.
And now it's been a school. Certainly not a big factor. The Dragon stacking still in the favor of Ole Miss. And they do have a couple of turret avenues. They got some lanes pushing here. Soon to crest that 20-minute mark, which makes the game become oh so much more fun. The Baron will be on the cards. That's first Cloud still about a minute away here. And Ole Miss, they're just trying to shove as many lanes as possible and set up vision anywhere they can near those neutrals.
Yep, absolutely. And with the Dragon spawning in a little less than a minute here, that is very important.
No flash. Well, actually, Vamps does have flash, but he likes his odds in the Cataclysm. Icelandic's backup didn't show up in time. They will get Vamps. Shogo is legendary, but that is ending up 1-for-1 where felt like there was no reason. Oh, 2-for-1. Hello. I don't know where James just went. Rhino got that kill. The Bard strikes.
Yep, 2-for-1 in the favor of Ole Miss, and they will just crack down this top lane turret. But on the other side, you can see Royal is pushing and barreling down on it. So a 1-for-1 trade in turrets really good here for Pookie Bears to sort of equalize that gold lead by taking that turret. And now the Dragon spawning up. You can see your Uncle Sam barreling toward that area, but Zaichong wants to get a pick.
All right, but this is Bard. Rhino is pesky as ever. Flash forward, good dodge. Resonating strike won't come across for Zaijan. Shogo is here. Don't know if it's known that he is waiting in the wings. Rhino giving the Master Bard bait. Chains of Corruption. The piercing arrow just sends a gray screen right to Zaijan's open door.
And Zaijan, he is down. The jungler for the Pookie Bears is down for the all-important fight that could have been at the Dragon. And now Ole Miss, their reward is going to be soul points. And they just continue to push this game further in their favor, getting another pick and objective in their pocket.
Hey, Quacks, remember when I told people who were watching the recording to go back to me saying Rhino's going to look like he insta that turns it around?
Yep, exactly.
Told you. I told you.
It's the Bard special. Everything is stupid until it magically works out, and then it's smart.
Magical journey, one would say he takes. Get it? All right, that's enough puns. That's enough puns. Somebody's at least laughing. I can quote that. But like you mentioned, Cloud Drake gets picked up. Soul point for Ole Miss. They'll be able to grab that around the 25-minute mark. So that's pretty ahead of schedule here. They have lost a lot of significant turrets, so a lot of that lane pressure, those waves crashing, isn't going to be as easier. Pookie Bears will be able to try and combat that for what I assume is the eye of the prize for both squads, that Baron Nashor hitting the Rift.
Yep, absolutely. Baron is the next target for both the teams, and both teams are trying to get priority in their favor. You can see Uncle Sam pushing up toward this top side, but yeah, look at the gold lead from these AD carries. We have to keep looking at it. It's so beautiful. Shogo is up so much gold. This Varus is still untouched. 9-0-2. It doesn't look like he has any intention of stopping at this point.
Oh no, Rhino's back up to his antics, but once again turns it. Tempered Fate. They pick off the AD carry. Now Orianna has to flash out of the Cataclysm. Rhino cooks again, and Shogo just deletes James on the back end. Up to 11 kills. This guy's in just a league of his own.
Yup, and now with 2 members down on the side of Pookie Bears, they can set their eyes on the Baron. TP is there for your Uncle Sam if he needs it, but I have to imagine Pookie Bears have no choice but to give this.
Rift Herald getting set mid. Shelly is a decoy, just trying to hold somebody from Pookie Bears, because they're taking Shelly's daddy here, Baron Nashor. No one gonna be able to contest it. Picked up, like you mentioned, onto all 5 members. This game just feels like a rinse and repeat from last.
Yup, absolutely. Pookie Bears managed to get a couple of fights in their favor, but then it's just Ole Miss with the superior team fighting that nets them the win over and over again. A tale as old as time has happened twice in a row. And by the looks of this game, it's not going to be able to happen a 3rd time as Pookie Bears are continuing to fall further and further behind.
And Rhino, he's chimed up. He's willing to chase Vamps. Doesn't get the slow, though, on the Q. Trying to speed himself up here. Vamps doing a good amount of damage, trying to buffer. Good shockwave, keeps Stray off of him. But Rhino might just do it all on his own. This is disgusting Bard damage. He's going to get a kill on his own. It's a killing spree for Rhino. What is this game, man?
A kill for Rhino. The Bard special with the sidestep, but now a return kill, a revenge.
Oh, it was so sweet for so long. That's a shutdown over to Royal, by the way. And Stray's also caught, so good response from Pookie Bears. It's going to be a double for Rhino and 2 Baron buffs off the board.
Yup, but while they did get kills, you can see that Shogo is just barreling down into the mid lane along with Icelandic Hero. Zaijiang is in a position to maybe look for a flank, but as Shogo and Icelandic rotate, that window is getting shorter and shorter. Now the inhib is the next target, and they will get it.
And they get out. Zaijiang, like you mentioned, looking for a window here. Kimmler already at half HP. Piercing Arrow does grab Icelandic, gets the flag and drag through, and that Chains of Corruption might have whiffed, but it created enough distance to allow Icelandic to escape, so nobody pays the price for taking Pookie Bear's inhibitor.
Whoa, that arrow did so much damage. Kimmler almost dies to it, and James taken to half health. He didn't even have the passive stacked on that thing. Imagine if he autoed them once, what that damage would have been like. What is going on?
I mean, this don't feed Shogo. I mean, I don't know what you're expecting here. Good cast moves for Icelandic. They get onto Shogo, though. There's the shutdown. Royal has the damage. Vamps gets the kill. So once again, they find the priority target. But what will it end up costing them? Rhino, Magical Journey, Zaijiang very low. They do have your Uncle Sam here, but he's too low on mana. And that's going to force Ole Miss back. Finally, the king has been slain.
Yeah, finally they get Shogo, but the question is it too little, too late? I'm not sure if one kill at this point in the game can make the difference. 4K gold up. The gold lead isn't big, but it is certainly feeling like that as Ole Miss continue to barrel down on the Pookie Bears squad.
Back to the Rhino cam. He's going to eat a Crystal Arrow. He actually might be dead this time. That stun is way too long, and it's going to make sure that Stray might also fall. Gets the trade, looks for the equalizer turn. Kimmler burning, but does get out of it. Waiting for Royal to show up. He's got a lot of brushes to utilize. The piercing shot forward from Kimmler, but here comes the trade. Royal now caught between your Uncle Sam and Icelandic, but he likes those odds. This Rengar is accelerated, but Shogo is way further ahead. Just outrageous damage that leaves James lacking in the middle, and one more arrow could do it. The whiff comes across, but it's not needed. Shogo, once again, need I say more?
Yup, he is proving that Varus is the better archer. Ashe stands no chance. And now with most of the Pookie Bears squad wiped away in that last exchange, Ole Miss are going to pick up the Cloud Soul for themselves and solidify themselves into this game too and look to close it out from here.
Cloud Soul, not the most useful on most of Ole Miss. Rhino's going to love it though, which is always nice. But I, you know, it's always nice to deny a Soul Quacks, and also Cloud Soul on a Rengar as fed as Royal is a pretty scary proposition, so
Yep.
It's just a good denial.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only do you deny it, but like you said, the Bard being able to roam around so much faster with that. And holy crap!
Look at that ball delivery system, Quacks. Royal pops
There
Shogo.
we go.
Can't be in the side lanes on his own, and now we're starting to see what Pookie Bears might have wanted to concoct with that draft, but like you were talking about earlier, how often are you going to find Shogo alone on a side lane going forward in this game?
Not only that, but sure you get the pick onto Shogo, sure you get the gold bounty and what comes with it, but we're 26 minutes into this game, but it feels like we've been here, honestly, for 40 minutes with the amount of pressure that Ole Miss has managed to lay down, and holy crap, James is just dead.
That's support Ashe. 0-7 by this point, and Stray has more than enough gold in the tank to burn him. As squishy as they come to support Ashe, and that pick will make sure that all inner and outer towers are just down for Ole Miss here with Baron about a minute out.
Yup, exactly. Baron, about a minute out, like you said, Slayer, and Ole Miss, all of them are respawning now, going back to the fountain. And they're looking to get vision around that area, right? You can see that Zaijiang is not supposed to be here, but he will be spotted out. The question is, can he get out? And the answer is yes. The Lee Sin manages to slip away, but yeah, good heist there to take some of those camps.
Here becomes the problem we discussed in draft, right? Is that Ole Miss now, with Baron coming up, they're going to force Pookie Bear into a 5v5 where they're just supremely outmatched. I'm not even talking gold lead. This comp is not, right? And this comp is just not designed to 5v5, 0 chance of front to backing. You're completely squishy. So, what can Pookie Bears even do?
Yeah, I mean, look at them. They're not even walking up. You can see Zhejiang, he went for the reset. They know they can't go for this fight. Maybe they can pick off table scraps like Rhino, who is a little bit far away from the team, but even that's not going to stick as Baron has been secured.
Arrow whiffs, ultimate from Royal not doing much. The Cataclysm, a great equalizer, locks a lot of people out from Vamps. He's going to burn down, is able to limp away a bit, but will fall. Falling flag from, I believe that was Stray, gets the kill, and now he's flashing forward on the James. See you later. They do pick off your Uncle Sam in the background. Good work by Zhejiang and Royal. But how much will it cost them once more? Stray is beelining it for this inhibitor, going to burn that one down, and Icelandic is cutting off the resources for Royal and Zhejiang to get back to their base. Royal's flash means nothing. Shogo finds that kill. He's flashing after Zhejiang, whiffs the Chains of Corruption, but that might have been enough to at least end the game here, and it's going to be an FF from Pookie Bears. Ole Miss look unstoppable.
Yeah, Ole Miss with a convincing 2-0. There were a few hiccups in both the games. There were a few bumps in the road, but all in all, off the back of Shogo, this looks like a team that really wants to go into those qualification matches, Slayer.
Number 4 seed by the committee looked nigh unstoppable in the OQ Swiss stage, and now they start GSL off with a bang. So good they had to surrender, and Shogo might have just put all of the teams here looking for promotion on notice.
Yeah, absolutely. This was definitely a statement series coming out from Shogo. He performed in both games and managed to look good while doing it. And that's the most important part. You got to make sure you look good while performing. But at the same time, a little bit of a tribute to the people backing him. In particular, Icelandic Hero in that second game on the Jarvan. Scoreline wasn't super pretty, right? But he was there when it mattered. He was there to support his team and be the facilitator for the team in this series. And ultimately, a lot of credit has to go to the people that set up Shogo just as much as Shogo himself.
From just the stat line and looking at the box score, quote unquote, a 4 seed 2-0ing the 19 seed in groups, not much out of the ordinary, but it was, like Quacks highlighted, just pure dominance. Now it's time to figure out what the rest of this group looks like. We've got another matchup coming out soon. Obviously, you guys watching at home could just go to Running the Rift YouTube channel. Shout out to them as well for putting us on, allowing us to do this, to figure out just what this group of Ole Miss, Morningstar, Polestar, and Pookie Bears will shape out as we trudge on through the GSL stage.